Driver. Nothing flashy or pretentious, just one simple word that summed up the story, the gameplay, and which grabbed my attention as a kid. I remember saying to my friends as a kid that I just wanted a game where I could just drive freely around a city and explore, and in 1999, my wish was granted. I saved up all of my holiday money that summer, marched into Comet, yeah, remember them, and parted with my hard-saved £50. I walked into that defunct electronics store a boy, and walked out the driver. The second I got home, I planted Driver into my PlayStation and was greeted with one of the most unforgiving training sessions in video game history. The dreaded car park stage. You cannot progress into the main game without completing the car park. You have to do a series of driving maneuvers that get checked off as you complete them. You have to do all 9 objectives with no more than 3 collisions in just 60 seconds. Standard car stuff like handbrake turns and burnouts. But 13-year-old me didn't even know what a slalom was. Had to ask my dad what it meant. That's what scuppered me the most. I even heard that some kids never saw the rest of the game because they couldn't beat the garage. Imagine spending £50 on a game only to never play it. Even the developers said years later that they made it too hard.
That's what she said.
And it was a mistake to lock players out of the main game for their failure. You can't drive, well, you can't be the driver. The garage stage is actually based on a scene from the 1978 film The Driver, where the main character auditions for a criminal gang to be their getaway driver.
Get in. You're crazy.
Although the game takes heavy inspiration and influence from the movie, the two aren't actually related to each other. The game borrows elements from other great 70s films like The French Connection, Bullet, and The 7-Ups. They even use stock sound effects from those movies. The basic story of the video game Driver is that you play as John Tanner, a former racing driver who is now an undercover detective investigating a criminal gang that is in cahoots with crooked FBI agents working on a plot to assassinate the US president. You select missions via an answering machine in your apartments.
You have one new message.
It's us. So listen. We want to use you on a bank job. No hassles. Should be real sleepy. You want in?
And as the game progresses, you travel across the US from Miami to San Francisco to Los Angeles and finally to New York City. Forget about it! The missions are all centered around, you guessed it, driving. You drive here, follow that guy there, pick up these guys from this place, and smash up that place. You're always in the car, and it wasn't until the sequel a year later when you could actually get out and walk around.
What a 42-carat plonker you really are!
But this kept the game simple. Less is more. You didn't have to sit through lengthy cutscenes or do yoga. The action was constant. It was so satisfying tearing up the streets of Miami, jumping the hills of San Francisco, or crashing through the alleyways of New York City. There was variety, with tailing missions, timed missions, and takeout missions. And I don't mean delivering fast food. And the big thing for me was Take a Ride, the free roam mode. I spent hours and hours for the next 5 years of my life cruising and crashing through those streets. I'd stick on a Jean-Michel Jarre album and just drive. Even to this day, I still pop the game in from time to time, and I even recently bought and completed the PC version. It's the same game, just better graphics. Of all the games that I've played in my life, there will always be a special place in my heart for Driver.